Hi folks, something just struck me. I've just finished I just did the video talking about you can't wait for the government to act. The church is supposed to be God's tool, yes. Then something struck me. This is not much different to allowing your child to be sacrificed to Baal. What parents are doing now. Because I was thinking, what I was just thinking was, what keeps on coming back to me is that 2,000 years. 2,000 years since Christ, and this is where we are. We have a church that can't be bothered to teach people or allow God to mould people, allow God to shape people. We don't want to do that. Yeah, there used to be a thing in the church. Yeah, where holding people to account was something that's come to us important for their sake. Shame sometimes was used for the benefit of the individual. Now, you can't do any of that in church now. It is ridiculous, it really is. Utterly and totally ridiculous. But we are where we are. Yeah. But then, of course, it then struck me, are the parents now doing any better than those who gave their babies, their infant babies up, to be put in the ball, in the copper ball, where they would light a fire below the stomach of the ball where they put the baby in, to cook the baby while it's alive, with people dancing around rejoicing at the screams of that poor little child. Are parents doing any better now to protect their children? Sadly, I think, the answer is no, they're not. Not really doing any better, are they, at protecting children than they were then. And of course now, there are people that do rejoice. Do you think Logan Paul regrets the thousands of dollars that he's received from that video? Of the Chinese people hanging themselves in the woods? With that publicity he received from that video? No. He celebrated all of that came from it. So that video may have led to the deaths or the suicides of a number of very, very young children, and yet, no. He celebrates it, or certainly the consequences of it. because it only brought him greater fame and greater fortune. He should have been cancelled completely from that. When you look at what people are cancelled for, putting that online for any ages to watch, for children to watch, small children. The problem is it's been viewed as worse in society for actors or men in positions of authority to use their power to try and get attractive women to have sex with them. That's worse than showing a video of people hanging themselves or have hung themselves in woods, showing their bodies hanging there. The fact of the matter is, women use their power all the time. Their sex. They use that power of sex all the time. But as soon as a man uses his power to get sex, oh, we've got to cancel him. He abuses power. Women abuse the power they have. What do you think OnlyFans is, for goodness sake? OnlyFans. They want men to give them whatever it is on a monthly basis. Yeah, for what? For nothing. For the hope, because the men will only do it because of a fantasy that maybe one day that woman's going to realise just what a wonderful man he is. And she will suddenly fall in love with him. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? But she's using that power for her own benefit. And that's okay. It's prostitution, by the way, of course it is. And that's okay. It's prostitution purely by choice. Yeah, all women that do pornography is prostitution purely by choice. Not forced into it. It's not poor woman, yeah, she had no choice but to do that. Yeah, they did. And so many of the women that do that sort of stuff, they are beautiful. They could go into modelling. They could. Some of them are that beautiful, they could go into modelling. But having sex for money is a damn sight easier than having to do all the work. Well, obviously. Well, obviously they seem to think it is. But again, this is the way society works, isn't it? You know, we say, yeah, this is good, this is evil, this is good, this is evil, and what was counted as good in the past and evil in the past is now the opposite. Obesity was counted as evil. Prostitution was counted as evil. Men being successful, being leaders, was counted as good. Yeah, hiring the best person for the job. Understanding that when you use someone who is pinky skinned to play Apache Indian in a movie, it's because that person can act. And you're picking the best actor. The one who most can play that role the best. Rather than picking someone who is an American Indian who can't act. Yeah, who... yeah. But we are where we are. There is way too much stupidity right now. In society. Way too much stupidity. Say the situation with mobile phones and children, smartphones and children, is just another one of those areas where it's a serious area where you can't have a serious conversation about it. Because having a serious conversation about it involves saying that the parents are wrong for giving their children a smartphone. saying the parents are more than capable of saying no. But they choose not to. And maybe even asking the questions to the parents. Why aren't you saying no? Why did you say yes to that? Here's what it is. I said you can't have a conversation without asking those questions, can you? And you can't ask those questions because that is blaming the parents and yeah. So therefore the problem never gets dealt with because, well, to deal with it you've got to have the conversation and you can't have the conversation. And it's children that suffer. Because adults are too bloody immature to accept responsibility for their actions and their deeds. They're too pathetically weak to be told that they're wrong. They can't handle it. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon.